Hello, I'm Lane Jordan Burday along with Dr. Lisa Burkhardt Worley, and welcome to Pop Talk. It's the show where you never know what topics might pop up. The past year and a half in Israel has probably been one of the most difficult and trying stretches since Israel became a nation in 1948. On today's show, we will speak with two men who represent a humanitarian organization that is Israel's leading disaster response organization. And Lisa has the introduction of our guests.
Well, thank you, Lane. I learned about the organization we're featuring today at the National Religious Broadcasters Convention, where we did a short Facebook Live interview with them. But ever since then, I've been wanting to do an entire show to talk in further detail about the disaster response organization called Zaka. Joining us today are Nachman Dyksztejn and Marnix van Ede. Nachman serves as the international commander of Zaka, an organization made up of 4,000 professionals and volunteers. Nachman is based in Ukraine, along with his wife, Valerie, and they are dedicated to emergency response, search and rescue, and humanitarian aid there in Ukraine. For over a decade, Nachman has lived and helped in war zones, evacuated the wounded, and organized 18 life-saving medical flights. He's also ensured that Holocaust survivors received urgent care. But nothing may compare to the work that he had to conduct after the events of October 7th, 2023, when Hamas attacked Israel. During the Feast of Tabernacles, Nachman was in Israel visiting his family. So as war erupted, he and his team rushed to help. We're going to be focusing on that experience today. Also joining us is Marnix van Ede. Marnix is the Director of International Relations for Zaka. His role is to build bridges between Jews and Christian communities, Jewish and Christian communities, advancing Zaka's worldwide mission of compassion and sharing its resilience and dedication of its volunteers around the world. So Marnix, I've met you a couple of times. Why don't we start with you? When I first met you, though, you were employed by a tour company in Israel. What drew you to change jobs and work for Zaka?
Yeah, thank you, Lisa, for having us in this show. First of all, yeah, when we met, I was still serving as a director at Israel's leading tour operator and focusing on faith-based travel. But after the October 7th, something in me shifted. I couldn't look away from the suffering. I had already come to love Israel deeply, its people and the land. And suddenly it felt like God was calling me to step into something more direct. And Zaka was at the forefront, doing a sacred and often unseen work, retrieving the remains of victims and bringing dignity to the dead and hope to the living. So I knew I had to be part of that. Everybody in Israel knows about Zaka, but outside of Israel and in the Christian world, it wasn't known so much. So I just approached Zaka at some point and I said, can't I be of any help to you? And sometime later, I became part of the team. And yeah, for me, it's about being a bridge between the two worlds and using my background to really support for those who are risking everything for others.
I love that answer because it shows so much compassion in your voice and how God directed you to change into starting to work with Zaka. Well, Nachman, you have incredible experience with disaster response. And my goodness, not everyone is cut out to do work like this. So why did you venture into disaster response?
Why? First, I think every person has his whole life is only to do something good for other people. That means I didn't came to this world to work and you came to build a family, but to help everybody. I'm over 25 years already doing it. Start by medical helping in Magen David Adom, and then I saw that I can do more and more, and this is what gives me the light and the life. That you come home at night and you say, today I keep lives, today I respect the dead, I did something good. This is the feeling, this is what you need.
And Nachman, because you live in Ukraine, not Israel, but in Ukraine, you have been very busy there. There's a war going on there as well. What all have you been doing there?
Okay, first I live between Israel and Ukraine because Israel is Israel. This is the Holy Land. This is the place that every person needs to be. But also I live in Ukraine, and for me the war started already 3.5 years ago. When we went out from Ukraine and I saw everything what's going on, and I saw so many people coming out, buses, and then I was sitting with my wife and say, what's going on with the old people, the Holocaust survivors, with the wounded people? And then we start to bring in ambulances. We open a small hotel from 24 rooms. Every room has a nurse, and it was 4 floors. Then we have like 2 doctors in the and we open like a small like a hospital. And we bring over 150 Holocaust survivors to Israel, 18 flights, medical flights. We bring to Europe a lot of people, but the most came to Israel. And this is what we did in Ukraine, like in short. And then for like you say before, I came for Sukkot to Israel to take a bit rest, to see the children and the grandchildren. We have 4 grandchildren, thanks God, 5 children, and we came here. And we enjoy very much the first days of the festival, but on Simchat Torah, when it starts, 6 o'clock, 6:30, we was in the bed, and we was looking. My wife looked at me and say, "What's going on?" And directly we open the phone. I'm going with my phone even Shabbat every day. It's like it's something that I live with the phone, and I call everybody who I can call, and they say everybody knows exactly what happened. When in the beginning of the afternoon we start to understand what happened, and we went out to Nova. And I don't like to tell exactly what we saw there, because I think the pain is too big, and I don't want to make pain for everybody, because we need to live with love and not with pain. But what was done there, people was killed, but not only killed. We find bodies in pieces. We find women that was. What we saw there, it's something that I think. Nobody can imagine what we saw there. People was burnt after 2 days that we finished in the Nova, and we start to came to the kibbutzim, and it was like, I will explain myself. When you came to the Nova, you saw so many things, and you say, okay, I saw everything what we can see in what a person can do. It's over what a person can do. And then when we start to came to one kibbutz, and every house you see another way how the people was killed, families that was killed, people was cutting in pieces. Even when we was taking the bodies, and we need to pack in the bags, and I remember like. My wife say, this piece comes with this body of this. This was the situation. With this, we was dealing 2.5 weeks, every house, and like we believe that we need to clean up every drop of blood. That then the volunteers was in another 3-4 months busy to clean up all houses. We believe that every blood needs to be buried also, and. This is by the religion, but also if the family wants to come back, if somebody from the family can come back in the life of family that wants to come to see the house of the mother or father of children, then they can come in the house and see a clean house, not a house like we saw.
Oh, Nachman, my goodness. I can hear in your voice just the despair of what you went through, and all I know is there has to be someone to come in and take care of the situation. But it blesses my heart, because if that was my family's blood, it blesses my heart that you were there and y'all care that much to clean the blood and remove everything in honor of those people. And that blesses my heart. So thank you for sharing that. And Marnix, my question to you is that you grew up in a Christian family in the Netherlands, and you set out on a personal journey to deepen your faith. And that journey led you to Israel, where you fell in love with the land, you stayed, got married, and raised a family in Israel. Now, in light of this love for Israel, of course, how did October 7th, 2023 impact you?
Yeah, it hit close to home. As a husband, a father, and someone who lives here by choice, I felt the terror in my bones, so to say. It wasn't just a headline, it was real. And friends were called into reserves. My wife's relatives were at the border. And at the same time, I watched Zaka volunteers rush into danger while the rest of the country froze in this horror. And that contrast deeply moved me. I knew that it was no longer just Israel's story. It is a story we all share. And I felt compelled to help to bring that story to the world.
I can't imagine, guys, what's going on right now with Iran and, what's happening in the war with Iran. Obviously, Israel's done a great job and the U.S. came in, but this is just one more thing, right? Since October 7th, I've spoken to so many people who have really struggled because of what occurred on October 7th and thereafter. A lot of traumatized people in the land. The children are traumatized. They're suffering from PTSD. But I know your Zaka workers have also had some problems with post-traumatic stress disorder. How prevalent is it? I don't know who wants to answer this, either Nachman or Marnix, but how prevalent is it, and what have you guys done to combat it?
It's very prevalent. We had volunteers who couldn't sleep for weeks and who were haunted by the scenes they witnessed, and PTSD doesn't wait. It creeps in slowly, and it is affecting not just the volunteer itself, but it's affecting entire families. When a volunteer comes home and cannot share what he has, on his mind, because it's too horrific to share. Even it divides even marriages and families. And Nachman has, so to say, the benefit that also his wife is serving as a volunteer in Zaka. And so they don't need many words for each other. They know where both are going through. And but there are many volunteers who are just really suffering. And Zaka has a special resilience division to provide long-term psychological support and trauma counseling for teams. And we also training new volunteers in emotional preparedness, as we have learned that healing is not just about time, but it takes care and presence and support. So it's a whole process, but it's definitely present.
Can I say something? It's like a person. Thanks God, I'm doing everything with my wife. Then for me, it's much more easy. Even if I need to cry, I have my wife to cry, and if she needs to cry, she has somebody. But if you think about a person that was in the 7th October and he saw what he saw, and the next day he's going to accident and he see a crash of a car crash, and he see the body in the same situation, not done in the same situation, because this is a crash from a car and this is a terrorist attack. But you see the same picture again and again and again. That means you make a treatment. And even after 1 week that he went out to help somebody, he see the same pictures, and everything comes back and back and back. And this is the reason that we need really, every volunteer needs to get a lot of treatments and help to stay strong, because it's not easy.
Oh, I can't even imagine. And I'm so glad that the Zaka has the capability and set up to work with everyone and to try to get them past. And You know what? The threats don't seem to stop. There have been missiles that have slipped through the Iron Dome. Of course, there were those awful fires that were set, and there's always the worry, must be in y'all's minds constantly, about more violence. And of course, now Israel is in a war with Iran. Is Zaka still on high alert, Nachman? And also, how are you guys doing? And you are probably going to maybe stay in Israel at this point?
First, Zaka is 24/7. That means 24/7. We are always with the phone. Always, we have 4,000 volunteers. Everything was going on around Israel. We will always be there, the first responders to help. We are going now. We are prepared like 3 teams in Israel now. That 24 like. When one team goes to sleep, another team came, and we wait for to know what's going on to be really the first responders. We have in the north, in the south, in every place in Israel we have teams, and we are ready for everything.
But also, all these teams need equipment, and the government just said, when this new threat came, just multiply yourself, make sure that you have enough in stock in your warehouses, and still needed all the help with all of this, and we are in desperate need of
never in desperate.
Not
never
desperate. Okay.
Jew and people that lives in Israel, I'm never in desperate, because you saw the video that even his house explodes, and he was on the piano and say, thanks God I'm in life. Then we are not in this point, but we believe that we need help to help people. We cannot do everything. We have 10 fingers, and this is what we have. And everybody that help us, this helps can keep lives and do what we need to do on the best way.
I just heard our story from an IDF soldier, guys, who literally thought he was going to die. His arm was basically blown off almost, was just hanging by a thread, and he was hiding underneath a house, and he thought he was going to die. He was letting people know, that he loved them, but he got rescued. But this brings to mind just the fact that the kind of work that you're doing is very dangerous. Do you ever think about that when you're going out? Because there might still be people firing missiles or shooting guns when you go out to recover bodies and respond to disasters. How do you deal with the danger element?
First, we need to be carefully. This is the first in everything. First, you need to be carefully. But we are always jumping to help somebody. If I can help somebody, I don't think twice. It's something that's come from inside. I cannot explain it. Like, it's something that if I can help somebody, I will not do it. What are I doing here in this world? I'm here only to help people, to help everybody, to build together, to bring love, to do something to help another person. This is my life. What do I have? Something else? Children, wife, everything. Yes, this is for sure. But what do you have? Spiritual, something that you go and I can say, I did something today, and I did something.
Yeah, Marnix, you have something on that?
No, yeah, this is the true heart of Zaka. What I discovered, the people don't think even a second not to help. The first thing is how can we help, and that's the whole mindset of Zaka.
I agree with that. And I think when you're called to something, I've been producing documentaries to fight anti-Semitism, and I know that puts me out there, but when you're called to do it, you do it, and you don't even think about the other. You just want to do what you're supposed to do, what you've been called to do. And Marnix, your job is to build bridges between the Jewish and the Christian communities. So how can we here in the United States, we Christians, come alongside the Jewish population in Israel to help during this difficult time, and what can we do to assist Zaka?
I think first of all, prayer is very powerful. Standing with Israel and the Jewish people really spiritually matters. And at this moment, while you live here in Israel, you start to think that the whole world is just against you. If you follow the news from abroad, you only see hatred towards Israel, and people don't know the true heart of Israel. And luckily, there are still Christians like you that know, and know the true heart of Israel and the Jewish people. And people need to understand this. So, but also practical help is needed, and that's why we have also vision for Zaka for the future to bring Jews and Christians together in an organization where maybe you want to share more about it.
I really, if it's possible, yes, I want to share. I think that I'm not the only person, and not only the 4,000 volunteers in Israel. And I saw it with Marnix when he came in, and he said, "Okay, what can I help?" I came for the help, and I think this is something that we need to build around the world. I want to build now. We will name it menorah, because it's the light, to bring light to the world, and to build volunteers around the world. Start in America, to build exactly the same system like Zaka, but Christian with Jewish with Christian, no difference, and only for one thing: to help everybody. We need to be strong, and strong together will be stronger. And like this, we can help and build something together. Explain myself.
That's it. We hope to create teams around the world that as first responders, and to really help and also involve the younger generation, that they have from a young age already a sense of purpose in their lives, instead of being attracted to the wrong things and maybe go even into drugs or whatever. But as soon as they have a purpose in their lives at a young age, and they can help to save a life, I think that gives such a sense of how do you say that, sense of responsibility, and you won't drift in the wrong directions that way. And we really hope to create a moment like an Esther-like courage to stand together and to say together, we will not be silent.
I love that. We will not be silent. And I love that your goal is to place teams all around the world for any disaster, which is just amazing. So, Nachman and Marnix, we've kind of talked about this, but explain to the listeners, how do you remain strong personally during this very difficult trial that you and our beloved Israel have been going through the past year and a half? Nachman, would you like to answer first, and then Marnix?
Marnix always first. He's older than me one year.
For me, it's remembering why I'm here, and why God brought me to Israel for a reason. For me, it was really like a calling. But I also look at my children, and I look at the volunteers who I serve alongside with, and I feel deeply grateful to be part of something bigger than myself. And yes, it's hard, but when the world goes dark, we are called to be a light, and that's what Zaka stands for. That's what Zaka Menorah stands for: to be a light amongst the nations, to fix the world, a light in the darkness.
I will answer it in another way. I believe that everything what we do and what we did and what we have and what we don't have, it's God. And He gives us the power. If we don't have the power of God, we cannot do. And He's there with me together. I'm not alone. I'm always with God with me. It's like I don't feel for me personally, I don't know other people, I cannot answer the feelings from other people, but for me, it's like I feel God say, go on it, help, do. You're here to do something. And again, I'm going back to the menorah. I think that we have a lot of Christian that wants to feel the same feelings. If you will understand my feelings, and if I can give these feelings for hundreds of thousands of young people to understand, to be a volunteer. I'm not working by Zaka. I'm not starting 8 o'clock and finish 6 o'clock. I start 12 and I finish 12. And I start again 12 and I finish 12. And it's 24/7 to help a person, to help your neighbor, to help your friend, to help your enemy, help everybody. Because I go back to the 7th October. You even pack the bodies of the terrorists. And people ask me, why did you do it? I'm not judging. God bring them. God did it. God knows exactly what he did. We believe in God and we don't understand and we don't ask questions. Questions, no questions. God knows exactly. And if you believe like this and you live with this believing and you live with this light that you know that your one candle can bring light to the whole world. Because if you take for me light from my candle, fire, you didn't take from me nothing. And if everybody together in the world will put on from one candle fire, we can bring a lot of Ola Goyim, bring light to the whole world. And this is what we want to do. And this is now the next things that we have finished with this world. Bezrat Hashem, very soon, it's to start this menorah around the world and bring this to everybody, because I believe, again, and I will say it again, I don't think it's only for me, everybody can do it.
We pray Adonai's protection over you both and peace over the land of Israel. Thank you for the work you did and continue to do after the Hamas attack. And I know there are countless people who are grateful for your service, Nachman and Marnix. And if you want to find out more about Zaka and would like to donate to their cause, you can find them at their website, fozaka, Zaka.org, fozaka.org, that stands for Friends of Zaka.org.
And we would love for all of you to connect with us at Pearls of Promise Ministries. You can email us at info@pearlsofpromiseministries.com, and you can like us on Facebook at Pearls of Promise Ministries and follow us on X at Pop Talk Media or at Pearls of Promise, or even on Instagram at Pop_Ministries. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Pearls of Promise Ministries to view all our past Pop Talk television and radio shows and our award-winning documentaries to fight anti-Semitism. Lisa and I also have a great new award-winning devotional book out called Treasure, and you can find that on Amazon.
So that is Pop Talk for today. We're just ordinary girls
Who God turned into pearls. Have a blessed day.